Tonight, we're really pleased to welcome two of the leading African-American humanists in the country. Dr. Anthony Pinn is the Agnes Cullen Arnold Professor of Humanities and Professor of Religion at Rice University. He is the Director of Research for the Institute for Humanist Studies, the author of over 30 books, plus numerous articles on humanism, and a leading scholar of African-American humanism. Ms. Mandisa Thomas is founder and president of Black Nonbelievers, Inc., a nonprofit organization based in Atlanta with chapters in 14 major cities in 12 states and Washington, D.C. She has appeared on CNN, CBS Sunday Morning, Playboy, is a popular guest on numerous podcasts. She currently serves on the board for American Atheists and previously for Foundation Beyond Belief, the 2016 Reason Rally. In 2021, she will be celebrating BNI's 10th anniversary. Congratulations.
We share a love of hip hop. So can we just talk kind of, at least for a few minutes, about what humanist communities might learn from hip hop culture?
Oh my gosh. Instead of just looking at all of, what they consider to be derogatory. And that is certainly something that, we dissect as well. But there's a lot that, first of all, you can learn a lot of Black history from hip hop and rap. There's a lot you can learn from that. There's a lot about the positivity that has come from the Black community, the creativity that has come from the Black community, how we express our words, and also about the oral, the spoken word tradition that has come from Africa, that has been passed down through our ancestors. There's a lot of history to be learned from that. and also in how we band together when it comes to those issues that affect our community. There has been a lot of that has come from, the hip hop genre and from what are considered the inner cities, which I come from. So there's a lot of that could be, that can be, transformed, and I would love for everyone in the secular community, no matter who they are, that if they love hip hop, own it. Own it. Own your, own your love for the creativity and the talent, because it's going to take more than one, more than one way.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. It also seems to me, if humanist communities are interested in growth, we might want to ask ourselves the question, how did a cultural development built on the Blacks of despised Black and brown young people gain global attention? How did it become the cultural imagination of the world? How did this happen? And in answering that question, we might gain a sense of what we need to do to make humanism more compelling.
Absolutely. And that goes back to definitely what I said about the different methods of how we do it. It's not just going to be us sitting in on lectures all the time, which is absolutely important. But there's different ways to learn from that in practical methods and practical applications. And that is, I think that's going to be a huge, that's a huge start. That's going to be a huge part of this, because the education and the information is one thing, but actually getting in, being willing to get your hands dirty, rolling up your sleeves like so many people have done, is really going to make a difference.
I would agree. And it also seems to me that hip hop culture developed an organic, a unique way of communicating. It came up with a vocabulary and grammar that was uniquely its own. that cut against dominant ways of doing. Just think in terms of cutting and scratching, let alone the vocabulary. And it seems to me that humanist communities, we humanists, need to do a better job of developing a way of communicating our values that is uniquely ours.
Yes, and the one thing that I've always this seems to be like a age-old debate about what is considered to be proper, and you alluded to the respectability politics of what it means to look down on certain people and certain words, or you're not supposed to talk like that. You're not supposed to that is not considered. And it's interesting that what was once considered, either ghetto or hood, or something that was unacceptable, it's interesting how those become a part of the mainstream and pop culture, depending on who makes it popular. And something that we've seen, unfortunately, time and time again, is that there's a certain segment of the white community who will look down on what the Black community does, but then it somehow resurfaces as something popular and cool once they've appropriated it. And this is something that we need, that the community, I think, should take into consideration as well. That yes, our language and our many uses of language are important, and it's important to the number of people who are coming in. It needs to be relatable. It needs to be relatable to those, because it doesn't take a college degree to understand that, to understand the concept of God as being fiction. And it also doesn't take a higher level of education to know that there are things that we can do as people of change. Mm-hmm. And the various ways that we can do that. And, we have we do a thing called code switching. I know how to code switch very well. I know how to talk that talk and walk those various walks. And it's okay to do that. And I'm not giving up my Blackness, or I'm not devaluing myself. I'm not discrediting myself as a leader in a community, because I know how to relate to people. And I think that that's a mindset that many need to get away from. Because I'll cuss sometimes like it's nobody's business. And guess what? Sometimes it is okay for us to, it's okay for us to admit that. So yes, getting out of definitely that elitist mindset and language, like you said, is going to be extremely important. And it isn't something that we need to totally reinvent. We can take the things that are already in existence.
So Anthony, thank you very much. Mandisa, thank you very much.